G'day there, welcome back to the race side. Great to have you here for another stream. We're doing 3 back-to-back streams this week and next week. So this is the second of our third for this week, for this rotation, if you will. We will be deep diving into the fantastic story and lineage of the character of Hera Syndulla, one of the coolest rebel pilots. I arguably will, and we will get to this point, we will argue, is she the best rebel pilot in the galaxy? We're going to have a great time. We're going to go through her story a little bit. We're going to talk about all the things you need to remember about what makes Hera Hera. It's going to be super fun. Lots of discussions, lots of questions. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be a great show. But chat, who's here? Who is here? Also, how's the music going? It's a little loud, isn't it? Is it a little cranking? I'll turn it down just a little bit. Who is in the chat? Who we got? We got Brady. What are we watching? Yava, Lightning, Ben 10. Skywalker's Academy is here. Tim's here. Ben's back. Great to have you back. DB in the chat. Hey, God7. Sin City. Shroha, Micah. Chicken Texas. Nimble. Almost forgot you. I almost forgot you yesterday too. There you go. There you go. So what time is it over there? It is currently 10 a.m. in the morning. First thing in the morning, just finished the coffee. Ready to go. Ready to talk about Hera. Right? Hera's a badass. She's not as good as Porkins. So I will debate that. I will fight that. But we're going to have a great discussion. We're going to get on to some main points here very soon. Have a fun time talking about Hera. Because Hera is one of, I think she's, I would say the co-leader of the Ghost Squad, right? Her and Kanan. It's true. Like Kanan is a leader of Ghost Squad, but I definitely feel like I don't know. I feel like Hera's kind of got the handle on things a little better than that. Maybe I don't know. That could be argued. He did. Oh wow. Way to remind us. Way to remind us, Lightning. Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's 10 a.m. Hey Julie, how you doing? How's it? How you feeling? This is day 3 of COVID. I hope you're doing well. Drinking lots. I think I'm in the same time zone as Japan, I believe. I think I'm actually in the same time zone. Wade! Not Wade! Dare we mention his name? Wade! Oh, you know what? Chicken Texas, you're right there. You are right there. I'm with you. But let's dive into Hera. Let's start talking about. If you saw a little bit, hang on, let's put our chill music on. Change gears. There we go. Gee, that took way too long to tick over. Brilliant. Okay, so we're getting down. We're getting down with it. We're chatting now. Hey, KB, great to see you in here. Right? Isn't that going to be crazy? Hey, Thatcher, see you back there too. Let's talk about Sabine. If you might have seen, I posted a little reel, and it was a clip that we found in our, if you were here, let me know if you were here in yesterday's live stream. One's in the chat if you were here yesterday. We took a look at Season 3, Rebels Recon, which gives us a lot of context to the cast and crew. Talk about the different things they made for each episode, the stories, the characters, the creativity behind each episode, and it's a really I'm loving the Rebels Recon watch through. It is so much of a learning experience. Anyway, I posted that little clip of the creators, Dave Filoni and Vanessa Marshall, talking about Hera's character and Hera's context, which is really important to think of. Where Hera goes and where she is, and how she is, how she acts in the rebellion, and that's what we're going to start off with today. We're going to start off talking with that, his context. Oh, yeah, it was good. It was so good, Micah. You can rewatch it, though. You can rewatch it. Lots of ones. I love it. Hey, Joey, how you doing? Nice evening walk. Let's go. Well, let's talk about Hera and go for an evening walk. So we're going to be talking about the context of Hera, which is closely tied to her family and Ryloth, everything about that. But as the little clip shared, of course, Cham Syndulla, her father. Let me know, did you guys like this arc in the Clone Wars? This was at the end of season 1. This was actually the finale arc for season 1 of Clone Wars. Liberty on Ryloth. What were the episodes called again? I could never. There's Storm over Ryloth, Innocence of Ryloth, and Liberty on Ryloth. There's also that. So the Innocence of Ryloth was the Numa episode as well. But we got to see a lot of, what was happening, obviously, on Ryloth. That was the focus of these episodes. And it was such a critical place for a war-torn place for the Separatists and Republic. It was all that throughout the Clone Wars. It was just ravaged. This place was ravaged. It was insane. Kind of a mid-arc, you think, Ben? What? Well, I mean, it's not like maybe one of the most famous ones, but I feel like it's iconic. I feel like it's got its own charm to it. Pun intended. Charm Syndulla. I really enjoy this arc, and of course we get to see a lot of Cham Syndulla in this, and he is such an interesting character. He's very much for his people. As the episode title suggests, the Liberty on Ryloth, I think, is such a great title because that's really encompasses everything that Cham and the Twi'lek people are trying to achieve. They're trying to what do you call it? Liberate. That's the word, the verb of it. Liberate Ryloth, and that's such a key thing for that journey of those people. And Cham is, head of that. He's like the leader of the Twi'lek. So we don't see Hera in the Clone Wars, but I think it's like a key. It's like point number one. Write that down in your brain. Like, okay, so she was brought up in like war-torn. We do see that a little later on. Brought up in like war-torn Ryloth. Like that is going to impact someone. Like if it was in the real world, if you were brought up in a country or a place or a city that is war-torn, that impacts you for the rest of your life, and definitely for the trajectory that your life goes on. Sin City. That's hilarious. I don't know, I think just for me, first season of Clone Wars is kind of mid. But might be in the minority, but I think it gets much better after that. Every season one of anything is like always kind of bit dry. You know what I mean? Amazing. But Cham Syndulla going on. Also Gobi. Who remembers Gobi? What a guy. Gobi was like Cham's like friend, assistant, like helper. He has a great relationship with Hera as well, and he ends up being in Rebels. All these characters end up being in Rebels, including Numa. But yeah, great. Just Ryloth, hey? It was ripped apart. It was intense. Then we get the Bad Batch episode. So this is kind of chronologically in Hera's life. So a little later in life, so after Order 66 has happened, we get those Bad Batch episodes where the Bad Batch actually encounter, and Omega encounters Hera, which was awesome. I loved those episodes. What do you guys think of Hera showing up in Bad Batch? I know that was quite an interesting cameo, but I liked it. I think it was that's true. Yeah, it's just like integral, right? It's like inner blood, literally. But Hera showing up in the Bad Batch, I think, was such a great cameo, just overall for that show. But also, I think it was really fascinating to see. I think the Bad Batch show is all about showing the beginnings of the Empirical Reign and what that started to look like. And I think Ryloth was a fantastic planet to show that with, because obviously we are familiar with it in the Clone Wars, and it was that symbol of war-torn in the Clone Wars, and I think it was fantastic to see it after the Clone Wars in the Empirical Reign. So I think it was a fantastic move to go to Ryloth in the Bad Batch. But then again, obviously speaking about Hera specifically, I think it was a really good decision to show Ryloth because of the people and because of Ilani and Cham. So Ilani's Cham's wife, so Hera's mum. I think it was really cool to see this group of people, those two leaders and Hera. I think these were great characters to show, to give the contrast and make the point of, the Empire's kind of wrath that was starting to happen. It was pretty good seeing her as a cameo. Yeah, I thought it was really cool. I really liked it. Hera, Mon, and Leia are my favorite rebel women. Yeah, they're very similar. They're very, very similar. Sage, it was cool to have Omega make a friend, because if you're going to Ryloth, you can't ignore Cham Syndulla. Exactly, right? Like, it was a great planet, first of all, and then to see Cham was, like, great. And then we're like, oh, we get the whole family. Now that she exists, we can't get Cham without Hera. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. People talk about hating cameos, but why create random new characters when there are existing characters that work just fine? And I think this is a good use of a cameo. I'm with you there, Sage, but, I think a cameo works when it makes sense, and seeing Ryloth, seeing Cham and Alani. Well, we hadn't met Alani yet. Like, we hadn't met Cham's wife yet, Hera's mum. But, like, meeting her and then seeing young Hera made sense. It fit. It all fit the mold, you know what I mean? The point they were trying to make. Micah for Ryloth and Cham. It sucks that they thought they had finally liberated it just to have it taken away immediately. I can imagine that. Yeah, it's like, but it's such a great point. Like, they went through like 3 years of war, fighting with like both sides. Like, they weren't super buddy with the Republic. Not to mention Orn Fritar's like around this whole time being like an idiot over in the Senate. And then, exactly, as soon as the Empire is formed, it's like, oh, no, you don't, you're not having it. You're not having it. Absolutely. And this is also such a great little piece of information that we got in Rebels, but would be around this time of when Hera was like a teenager, when Hera was younger, of finding Chop and having Chopper and their relationship. You can't have Hera without Chopper now, it's so true. And I think it's such a great story of how they met, of he was a part of a crashed Y-Wing, and then he was like salvaged out for her. Like, that is such a cool way to like connect each other. I think that was really, really awesome. I get so annoying when people complain about cameos. Most examples of cameos for Star Wars have been good. This is not Marvel, folks. True. I agree with that. There has been very little cameos where I'm like, that's bad. Like, I feel like all the cameos have been well done. Very, very well done. I don't understand why people say that the Star Wars galaxy seems small. The galaxy went through tons of changes in 60 years, and there were key players. Exactly, right? Exactly. And it makes, I think the idea of the Bad Batch meeting Hera, I feel like people could say this like, oh, it's small, but it made sense. It made sense with what was going on. It was a logical step. But for all those episodes in the Bad Batch that we see, obviously we see Bad Batch, but then we also have that episode where it was heavily, heavily focused on Hera and the family. We also get to meet, oh God, Hauser, Captain Hauser. And, this is a little bit of like distraction from talking about Hera for a second. But Captain Hauser, what a legend. What a legend. He's a great guy. He was the main captain for Cham and Hera Syndulla, and was obviously still with them through when the Empire changed or formed. Great character. I want to see him more. Imagine he's in Ahsoka. No, it's dramatic. That's ridiculous. But yeah, Bad Batch episode 11, Devil's Deal, is when we meet all that. And, we see, this is also a great episode for Admiral Rampart. And Hera's really in the thick of it here. She's really seeing people that are in charge, like, is he Commander? Admiral Rampart is in charge, and also Orn Fritar. And also just the politics that is happening there. Hera is witnessing, understanding. She is, I don't know how exactly old she is in the Bad Batch, but I would say maybe like 14, 15. If like Omegas say like 12, I would say maybe Hera's like 15 at this point. But she's at the forefront there. She's watching all this drama happen, and if you go back and watch this episode, it's a great episode, Devil's Deal, episode 11 of Bad Batch season 1. And Hera's just having to soak that all in. And again, it's coming back to that point of the way she was brought up in war-torn Ryloth and her life and her family really impacted her. You know what I mean? Hey, Andrew. How you doing, Trooper? Oh, I appreciate it. Is Yava giving out memberships? He's such a great trooper. I can never see it on the stream, but thank you so much, Yava, for your generosity. Appreciate it. That's so good to hear, Andrew. I love it. Great to hear. But that's a little bit of Hera's context, so let's keep that in mind going forward into the discussion. going forward into the discussion. So Chairman Alani, we don't know how Hera's mum died, but she's just not around by Rebels, right? She's not around. And this is kind of skipping forward now, a beat forward to Hera and the Rebellion. Now, admittedly, if this was a full-on everything, I know everything about Hera's story, I haven't read A New Dawn, which is a great book. Apparently, I've read like the first chapter, but a lot of people love this book, A New Dawn. It's about Kanan and Hera when they're a little bit younger, kind of like young adults, I think. But I haven't read that, so I've omitted the information that's in that book. But this is all just the visual information. My daughter got a new puppy. She asked if I was upset with her. I said name him after the greatest Jedi, and I won't be. That's hilarious. Who's the greatest Jedi, though? Qui-Gon? You can't call a dog Qui-Gon, can you? No, I don't know. But let's step forward a little bit to Hera and the Rebellion. And so this is talking about Hera and Rebels now. Let's get down to it. This is the bulk of what we're talking about today. I've got a list of a few of the episodes that in the Rebels rewatch I found quite profound in shaping Hera's story. Now, in a little while, after we just go over these episodes, we're going to go through each of Hera's relationships with the people in the Ghost Crew. So I would love to hear your thoughts in that in a moment. But let's talk about in my opinion, the most like kind of important, most focused episodes of Rebels that looked at Hera quite deeply in a great way. I mean, of course, she's in like every episode, almost every episode. There's probably only a few she's not in, but these episodes I found just super important to the building of her story. Off the bat, I loved season 1 and you would have seen this in my Rebel season 1 overview. It's all about context. It's all about establishing who these people are, who these characters are, who Hera is, who Kanan is, who Zeb, Sabine, and Ezra are. It's all about just establishing those characters. So there's not a lot of character development that would go on, but when we hit season 2, that jumps into the character development for all those characters immediately, in my opinion, because we see what the Ghost Crew are doing. They're laying low for now. They're doing their missions. They're helping the people. They're working kind of affiliated with the Rebellion, and that's just how it's running until later in the season. They're doing more and more bigger missions. They're working with Fulcrum, which is good, important. Working with Fulcrum, and it's kind of building up as it goes on. But then we get into season 2, which I really think is like, a lot of people say their favorite seasons is like 3 and 4. I love Rebel season 2. I think it's such a great season for the characters. His name's Obi-Wan. Oh, I love it. Hey Max, how you doing? Great to see you. And you can see how pretty. Absolutely. Yeah, it's she's got that real motherly vibe to her. I love it. So season 2. This episode I found so interesting, and it really had a look at Hera's character, was Wings of the Master. This is the episode where Hera, Sabine, and Zeb go off to a planet to trial out a new B-Wing. And Hera has to pilot it, and it's very dangerous. And was it an Ugnaught? Who's the little dude? Who's just like, oh no, it's not an Ugnaught. It's a Mon Cala? No, he's not a Mon Cala. What's the other one? Oh, jeez, it's eluding me here. But Hera has to pilot the ship and kind of conquer the ship and figure out how it works and not die, essentially. And it's such an interesting episode for Hera's determination. She has a little bit of hesitancy. She goes through kind of doubt, quite a lot of doubt in her own ability. But this is a great episode of her overcoming that. She's challenged with it, and she overcomes it. And this is really the chiseling of her becoming, we all say, oh yeah, Hera's a great leader, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, how did she become that leader? How did she become that leader in herself and for other people? And I think this is just such an important episode. Wings of the Master. It's got to be on your rewatch. Rewatch the whole of Rebels anyway. But it's such a great chiseling of Hera's character of becoming a leader, in my opinion, because she really has to go through those emotions and experiences of, danger and difficulty and hardship to really shape how she leads people later in the season. As seasons 3 and 4 get on, it gets very complex of how things are working. And that's really, it's really important for her journey. The Hera we meet in Rebels is already such an unbelievable woman, pilot, Twilight, partner, and hero. Each season goes on to strengthen that. Absolutely. Wow. Well said, Lightning. Big fan. I love it. That's amazing. She's got a cat named Ahsoka? That's hilarious. When Hera says that she's in a battle, she's in a battle? That's when she's at her best. That was all. Hang on. How do I read this? When Hera says that, when she's in a battle, that's when she is at her best. It was awesome. It was awesome. Is that what you're trying to say? I think I know what you're saying. 3, 4, 2, 1. Season 2 finale was one of my favorite arcs. Yeah, it's gotta be one of the favorites, right? Absolutely. The next episode where I found this is just tremendous for Hera's character. When back to what we were talking about, is the episode in season 2 again, episode 16, Homecoming. This is when she meets up with Hera Syndulla, her dad, Gobi and Numa, and it's just, I still didn't believe, I couldn't comprehend that Numa in that episode was the Numa we met in Innocence of Ryloth back in season 1 of Clone Wars. Insane. Great connection. We love that connective tissue in Star Wars. Great little, Easter egg. I don't know. Is that an Easter egg? In it. But this is a really interesting episode for Hera, because we've seen Hera kind of working, as a child, seeing her parents work and seeing through the Clone War, seeing through the change of the Empire. Now we're in the age of the Empire where it's really at full force here. We're 15 years into the Empire being a thing. But now she's challenged with her own father's beliefs of how to go about this and what he's doing. Should they go to war? Should they fight it? Can they fight it? Will they not? Why won't they fight it? All these kinds of questions. And that's put on Hera. And it's not just, I will do what my dad does. She's really shaped her own character now to make those decisions. It's a really interesting episode of it's not just they team up and it's all happy. It's quite a complex, a family episode with complexities of their relationship showing through. But it's one of these episodes that I think really strengthens Hera's ability to be a good leader and to be in charge and in command of a group and what to do and not to obviously just go with the flow. Just go with what people are saying. You know what I mean? Hey, Dave. How you doing? Wonder if any of her family will cameo in the show. Yeah, it's a good question. Maybe we could see a Cham in there. Oh, imagine a live-action Numa. That'd be hilarious. Absolutely. Next episode I really love, and again, this was mentioned in this episode, because it was season 3, was mentioned in the Rebels Recon watch we did yesterday. And I remember, if you were there, I was like, remember this because it's in my list for today of most important Hera episodes, in my opinion, is season 3, episode 5, Hera's Heroes. This is such a cool episode, and it's a very thrawny, that's hilarious, that sounds weird, thrawny episode. He's quite involved in it. They go back to Ryloth, so great connection. Of course, I've spent the first 10 minutes of the stream saying, the Ryloth context is really important. So I loved in Rebels that we go back to Ryloth, see what's happening, see what's going on, why are things happening the way they are. And Hera has to face Thrawn, she has to confront Thrawn really in an honest way, and he's so fantastically manipulative. Oh, jeez, I can't even attempt this word. He's so cunning and clever that that's a great confrontation there. That they really go against each other, and the family heirloom of that wooden kind of family block that she has is such an interesting symbol for how those two characters interact with each other. Thrawn obviously having that background and interest in arts and interest in, just arts and art paintings and sculptures and things like that is such an interesting angle. And then Hera having this, and you heard Dave Filoni speak a lot about this in the Rebels Recon yesterday, how interesting of an angle that was. There's like a point of reference and both Hera and Thrawn are coming with their backgrounds to it. Great confrontation, great Hera episode, really shows her character, stretches her character quite a lot. It's been really interesting. Yeah, right, I didn't even try to attempt it again. I've always been fascinated with Hera's connection to her family. Yeah, Kalakori, there we go. I wonder if we'll see that artifact in Ahsoka. That would be a great Easter egg. Great, like, prop Easter egg to have. Because you know what we should have had? That should have been in Luthen's shop in Andor. That would have been very cool. That would have been a great, like, little prop to see in there. But I don't know if they'll see it. Like, they'll put, like, I don't know if that's like Luthen will come across it. But anyway, very cool, isn't it? It was a really great, like, just symbolic thing that was really well utilized in that episode in the show. And later on it kind of comes up again and she's trying to get it back and Kanan's getting it back for her and all these things. It's really beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. I love it. The final episode, I don't know why I did a list of 4, like not 3 or 5, but I only did 4. Final episode that I think is really important for Hera's character. Season 4, episode 9, Rebel Assault. And Hera is just all in at this point. And, obviously season 4 is such a momentous season for many reasons. Ezra's really grown up and coming into his own. Sabine's really exploring the Mandalorian parts of herself and what that means for her in the future. Like, Kanan's like blind, but he's got the thing off, and then obviously his ending. Zeb's just around. He's doing well. But Hera in this episode, Rebel Assault, sacrifices herself to in this whole journey that they're on to, again, liberate. Let's go back to that word because that's what's happening. Liberate Lothal, and we can make that connection there. Again, coming to this fact of her upbringing really impacted all her decisions as an adult in Rebels, in these situations, with the Ghost Crew, with her new, like, which is kind of, they always say it's their adopted family, and the decisions that was made around her as a child, that now she's the kind of leader of this family, and, what direction she's wanting to take things, and she's wanting to liberate Lothal as well. She's given it all up for it. Which I think is such a great full circle moment, is that, she saw her planet liberated because of her parents, and now she's in the position to really help Ezra. Often a lot of people talk about the connection with Sabine and Hera, which is so true, but I think Ezra and Hera actually have a really deep connection. We'll get to that in just a moment. But I love this episode. It's a really dramatic episode, really intense. It was really, really awesome. Hey, Vibey, how you doing? Kalakori. Yeah, you know what? Lightning, I think I agree with you. The Kalakori will pop up in the show. Where's the whiteboard? I always forget the whiteboard marker. All right, so Lightning's calling it. Are we going to see the Kalakori in Ahsoka? Let's see it. Oh, God. All right. What else have we got on here? There's so many things here. Okay. Kalakori. In Ahsoka. Okay, that's by Lightning Slug is calling that. I'll just put LS. Jeez. Man, if that's right, that'll be phenomenal. But you know what? I think it'll be a great Easter egg. Also, hey CG, I just saw you pop in. Showing Hera family artifact would be the easiest Kanan reference. Yeah, that's true. I think Kanan has to be referenced in some way. I mean, if we're getting Jason, it's got to be a big enough reference, right? Yeah, I'm ready to go at any time. Oh, I love it. All right. let's get down amongst the two. Now, what we're going to be talking about is Hera's relationships with the rest of the Ghost crew, because I think this is fascinating. And, you know, I talked about the single episodes that we all, like, what I think was the most Hera-y episodes, but these are kind of the overall relationships that she has with each member of the Ghost crew. Obviously, starting with Kanan. We mentioned Kanan, saying a Kalikori would be like a great little connection to, you know, kind of hint, you know, acknowledge Kanan's existence, because they have a deep, deep connection. And I think, and this is my hot take, Hera and Kanan is the best depiction of a romantic couple in Star Wars. I think it's the best depiction. Of course, we have Padme and Anakin, but I mean, that didn't, you know, that's kind of the whole story is like, that didn't end well. That's like pretty much Star Wars. It's Padme and Anakin's relationship is like, that didn't end well. Like, that's it. You know what I mean? CG coming in with a $5 dues. How about the episode? Hera is broken out of prison and Kanan gives his life for her. Got to be a big turning point in her character. You know, that's a good point. Yeah, like the finale. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That is an incredible point. And I wonder if that's going to come up. We're going to see the ramifications of that a little bit in her character in Ahsoka. That'll be interesting. That's a great point, CG. I love it. And thank you for the $5 dues. While you're here, also, make sure you drop a like as we getting into the character relationships. If you're here, make sure you hit that like. It helps me out a bunch. Appreciate it. But I think Kanan and not Kanan and Ezra, lol, oh my god. Kanan and Hera are the best romantic depiction of a couple. What do we think? To end, they did have the best displayed romance for sure. Yes, okay, Nimble agreeing with me. You know what I mean? Like, in terms of, like, the most, like, rational and, like, healthy. You know what I mean? That's a good point. I agree with you there, Sage, actually. Absolutely. We could see a version of Kanan in the form of a Loth Wolf again. Yeah, true. Perhaps we will try to communicate with Ezra, Hera, even Jason. Perhaps even Jason's connection to the Force. That'll be interesting. Very interesting to explore. Mostly healthy. What? About Hera and Kanan. I feel like their relationship is so healthy. I think it's so nice. That's true, Dave. I did like that. I did like that one. Oh god, yeah. CG, I cry at it every time. Like, even when I know it's coming, every time I watch it, I just cry. I just cry immediately. Taryn, what do we think? Hera and Kanan's relationship was pretty stable out of the other ones. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, in comparison. That we've seen so far. I wonder if it'll be the same thing during the start of their meetup. Absolutely. And that's why I'm like, I need to see that. I need to read that A New Dawn book. I feel like it's in there. Kanan and Hera's relationship is sweet, but also professional because of the level of seriousness required for them. And I think that's what makes it such a, like, a in-depth and, like, really connected friendship, relationship, which, I mean, in my opinion, like, it should spawn from a friendship. So I think that's maybe why I have the opinion that it's, like, the most healthy, because I think they got to know each other so well. Got to know each other so well. And, you know, got to know the intricacies of each other. And they kind of had that partnership for a long time. You know, there's that, I think it's in the first episode of season 2 of Rebels. They call each other, like, dear, which is kind of, I mean, weird. Like, who uses that? That's, like, under 80. But they called each other, like, dear, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cute but weird. But it wasn't until, like, the end of season 4 where they actually have their like an on-screen kiss, which is kind of insane. But in the episode I mentioned before with Cham Syndulla, season 2, episode 16, Homecoming, when Cham's there and, like, Kanan is, like, all weird trying to impress Hera's dad, is such a great little, just, like, little character note, just like a whoop, just, like, beautiful little nuance there. I love it. That was my favorite Kanan moment. Yes. Oh, the eyesight, absolutely. You know what? I kind of see that. I love it. Oh, they were probably sneaking around behind the scenes. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, I agree with that. I think so. I don't know who calls each other like dear, and it's just like not romantic yet. I don't know. But I mean, great relationship. Great relationship. But you know, more about their relationship, not just with the romantic part of it. I think these two characters of Kanan and Hera, I don't think you can solely put on either of them that they're the leader of the Ghost Crew. I think it's both of them. And I think it shows their partnership and shows their balance for one another. Hera's a lot more forthright. She's a lot more determined. She's the one in season 2 is like, hey, we're joining the rebellion. Like, this is what we're doing. And Kanan's the one being like, you know, hesitating or not sure. And that's kind of his character. That's his character journey he goes on. You know, if you think back to Bad Batch premiere, he's very much like that with the clones. And I think he carries that like kind of hesitancy of opening up and trusting people. He's like that his whole life. He trusts Hera, but he's not fully opened up to the rebellion yet. And that, you know, that took quite a few, you know, stories for him. This is not about Kanan, but it's just interesting that he's so hesitant. And also even his relationship with Rex, obviously so hesitant, doesn't want to trust people. But Hera really, they balance each other out in that way of he has the hesitancy, but she has the determination going like, we got to go at it. We got to do this. We got to do, you know, stay strong, help these people do these things. And it kind of makes it equal. If we kind of add both of their intensities together, it makes it equal. I like it. And I love that just seeing that. It's cool. I really like it. Oh, I love it. Oh yeah, that's true. Oh, you know what? Actually, say you're onto something here. The pajama episode. Kane wasn't in his room. Where was he? Yeah, exactly. And trust. So that's why, you know, that's obviously why he doesn't trust the clones and Rex, and that's kind of his story. But we'll get into that when we do a Kanan discussion. But I agree, CG. Oh, I want to read A New Dawn. So I'm not gonna read that spoiler because I really want to read A New Dawn. But you know, I love this relationship. Hera and Kanan balances each other out. I think it's very, very well done. And I think the other thing, you know, combining those 2 points together, I think this relationship of these two people shows us the personal effects of what a war does to a personal relationship. Like, both of these people are a part of the rebellion, in amongst the war, fighting the Empire, and how that strain is on a relationship of, and like someone said it before, I forget who said it, but you know, it was very professional. Who said that before? That was a great point. It's a very professional relationship for many, many seasons, and I agree, because I think there's kind of, you know, obviously there's that no time. They gotta like care for people. They gotta care for the Ghost Crew. They gotta do missions. So there isn't that kind of personal exploration of one another. It's very much they get to know each other as they're doing those things. And you know, we even see that in that later season of season 4, where, you know, there's that episode where they're trying to build up that tension that they're gonna have a kiss, but they keep getting distracted by like Ezra running somewhere. There's that episode, and I think that's, you know, that really encapsulates what has happened the whole series, where it's so professional and serious because there's so much going on with the war that they have to focus on, that there isn't time for them to have that, you know, personal focus on their relationship and kind of really understand each other on a personal wavelength. I think they understand each other very deeply, but you know what I mean? It's great. It's fascinating. Hey, JS. Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. I'm glad. Take a break with us. Come and hang out with us. We appreciate you. You legend. Kanan's romantic journey as a Jedi is much like Cal. That's a great point. Both survivors coming to terms with moving on from the Jedi doctrine to experience genuine relationship with people they care about. Exactly. And like, you know, I feel like, again, we'll talk about this more when we do a Kanan discussion. But you know, definitely, like, Kanan's like, even the fact that he's engaging in like a romantic relationship is so interesting. So interesting. All while keeping their values in check. I know, very interesting. Oh, yeah. It's Kanan's kid, absolutely. Will we see a possible Kanan ghost scene with Hera and Ahsoka? Or would that throw off this Ahsoka story? That's a great question. I'd like I would like to see that. I think if it fits into what they're doing with the story, I think that'll be good. I think that'll be good. Good stuff. I love it, Sin City. You legend. You legend. Saying the Kane's the best character? Yeah, true. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Let's do. Oh, we're dropping bars again. Oh no. We're going to talk about Sabine's relationship to Hera just as long as this internet picks up a bit. Hang on. Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay, I think it's back. I think we're good. We're rolling. We're rolling. There we go. Oh, gee, I was so close to the screen then. That's hilarious. Baby choppers? What is the baby? That's hilarious. But let's talk about Hera's relationship to Sabine. This is a great relationship, a great connection. I think Sabine is such a great character for Hera. Definitely in season 1 and through in season 2, I think as well. Sabine really challenges Hera. Hera is versed in war missions, battles, tactics, strategies. Hera is very versed in that, and I think it's fascinating that people always go, "Oh yeah, Hera's the motherly figure." I think she is, but I don't think that comes naturally to her. I think she's very about the strategy, battle time. But if we look at Sabine, her relationship with Sabine, it really takes a couple of rounds to kind of connect and understand and get along with, well, not get along, but just understand Sabine from Hera's point of view. There is that great episode which is gonna emit my brain. I want to say it's episode 9 of season 1, where Sabine and Hera go to that moon with the kind of angry beast things and have to get the boxes and get the crates back, but the what happens? The ghost isn't repaired. I think that's that episode. And is a really great little story plot point is when Sabine really wants to know who Fulcrum is and wants to be trusted with that information, but but Hera doesn't tell her. Such a great plot point. And that's really a vessel that kind of challenges that relationship where Sabine's like, tell me, I'm a part of this crew, tell me. And she's just like, no, Hera's just like, no, I can't tell you, can't trust, can't tell you everything yet. Really, really interesting story. And I think, again, it proves this point of I think Hera does become the motherly figure of the group, but I think she still has challenges with it. She still has challenges with, she can be the right battle leader, but then, mission crew leader, but can she be that motherly figure, that mentor figure for Sabine, the right one for Sabine? I think in the end it's yes, but at this moment it was tricky. It was tricky. Squeeze covers. Ray Dad. Ray Dad coming in, great discussion. Thanks, Dad. Appreciate it. $10 dues. That's phenomenal. Is it frame drop again? Damn it. Vibey. I don't know if you already answered this, but do you think you will see Zeb? Probably. Probably. Yeah. I'm back. Okay, good. Hera and Sabine does feel more like sisters. Oh, do you think so? Feeling more like sisters. I feel like Sabine does. She's a little bit old. I don't get that vibe. I didn't get that vibe at all. But that's interesting. Interesting take, Neville. Very, very interesting. But these characters are such an interesting mix, and again, I think there's just the story between these two is beautiful of how Hera teaches more to Sabine. It's great. It's really, really amazing. I think when Sabine really comes into her own in season 3 and 4, a lot of that is attributed to Hera. Oh yeah, actually, I forgot this point I wrote down. okay, hear me out. Sit down for this one. Sit down for this one. This is my take. I think Hera can encourage Sabine like I think she does. I think Hera does encourage Sabine like she may have wanted someone to encourage her when she was young. That's my take. So, of course, we talked about, like, the war-torn Ryloth, the war-torn life that Hera grew up in. And her parents are pretty nice. Her mom's pretty, like, very kind, and they look out for her and they care about her. But I think they didn't trust her with a lot or give, like, I don't know, just encourage her enough. And I think Hera is maybe trying to, it's this deep, deep story of trying to kind of reconcile maybe some childhood of experience of growing up in war and trying to be different to that for Sabine. That's my take. That's my deep little take here. That she wished, like, the way she encourages Sabine and it's like, you can do anything. I think she wished someone said that to her when she was a kid. That's my take. That's my take. Hera walks the line of being a leader and a mother to the crew very well. I agree with that. I think she really, yeah, she's on that fence in a good way. Like, she does walk that line. I'm with you there, Lightning. Oh, Ghost of Legends. Have we watched it yet? Maybe I've seen it. Maybe not yet. We will eventually. Thank you, Roman. You saw the take. That's my take. Yeah, again, great relationship. I think this is such a cool character to kind of contrast for Hera to kind of learn against with Sabine. The next character we're going to be talking about is her relationship to Ezra. And like I mentioned before, I think a lot of people talk about, like, Hera's relationship with Kanan, that romantic relationship they have, that partnership they have. They talk about her relationship to Sabine. It's like, oh, it's like a mother-daughter. That's nice. I think we overlook the fact that her relationship with Ezra is also quite important to Ezra's upbringing, especially early on in the seasons, in season 1 and 2. Of course, we've got the master and apprentice value that we get from Kanan. That's the relationship there. That's the relationship. The mentor, the father-like, all those kinds of things. That's the Kanan and Ezra. But I think what's really important to balance that, because we see flaws in Kanan's connection to Ezra. We see, he doesn't connect that well. He was like, oh, I'm not a good enough master. That's kind of Kanan's whole thing. He's like, oh, I'm not good enough to teach you. And Ezra's like, teach me. That's kind of just their whole, like, vibe of their relationship. But Hera's really a really key character in that relationship, in that kind of conflict that is through those two characters the whole way through season 1 and most of season 2. Hera is in there assuring Ezra so much. And we could talk about how Ezra doesn't turn to the dark side, but he is tempted like 1 billion times in Rebels. And I actually I want to attribute that to Hera's constant encouragement and, like, assurance of Ezra. When Ezra and Kanan would fight or not get along, Hera would be the one to come and sit with Ezra and talk to him about it and connect with him about it. Be like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, they would come in. I've just registered OJs here. Oh my God. That's hilarious. I just registered you're here. That's hilarious. But, this relationship that they share, I think, is so important for Ezra. So it's kind of funny that it's like, I say that and this is my opinion, I think her relationship with Sabine is kind of a bit of a, like, tense in the way that, like, Hera doesn't know quite how to, like, connect with Sabine and, like, understand her, but she's trying. But her connection to Ezra is really easy, and she's that motherly figure that I think we all say, comes and always sits with Ezra to, like, get on his level, be like, we're doing our best, what are you doing, what are you talking about, and, like, connects with him. It's interesting. Oh, jeez, come on. Ezra was always wanting to find his parents, and he found them in Hera and Kanan. Oh, that's beautiful. Well said. That's a great point. I just looked at the time. 52 minutes. We've been talking about this for 52. I didn't even know I had this much to say. But anyway. Hera pushes Kanan to train Ezra through his trauma. Yeah, exactly. It's like, I think that's another little, encouragement thing. We talk about the connection of Kanan and Hera. Hera's she's very, very encouraging. Very, very encouraging. that's so true, Roman. A lot of them is revolved around orphaned characters. That's such a great point. Great point. But yeah, I think going into the show, actually, I think it's important to remember that not only does Hera have an important relationship with Sabine, but she's got a very important relationship with Ezra. I genuinely attribute Ezra not being a Sith right now because Hera was like, we support you. We want to appreciate you and we want to love you. And having a voice like that in Ezra's life at that point in time where he's discovering the Force, he's discovering he's powerful, but, keeping him down to earth and keeping him grounded, I think it was Hera's doing. The final member of the Ghost crew, Zeb, I don't have much to say. I really, I've had all these dot points in the other characters. I don't have much to say. If there's any criticism I have, it's like, Zeb is just kind of there as the comedic relief, maybe, like, there's kind of this brawny guy in the background. He's got a couple of interesting episodes, obviously, when things are kind of revolving around Callus, and also Zeb's funding his homeworld and things like that. But really, there's not much to say with Zeb and Hera's relationship. All I can say about it is that I think it is they show such mutual respect for one another. You can obviously see either of them would lay their lives down for one another at any point in time, which takes us a big level of trust and respect for each character. So mutually respectful. This is what I wrote. Mutually respectful. I think that's it. Wrecker's heavy. As in the character heavy? Yes, absolutely. Zeb is Wrecker. I totally agree with these. Absolutely. Oh, I love that, JS. Appreciate it. Is that one rowdy uncle? That is so true. He has that rowdy uncle energy. I agree. The episode with Zeb and Callus was so good. It was a great episode. But you know what I mean? It's not like Zeb had this 4-season character development. It was but that episode is phenomenal. I love that episode. Absolutely. Equal to counting money to useless. I wouldn't say equal. I feel like I like Zeb more. I definitely like Zeb a lot more. I'm not saying I don't like him. It's just he's just there. He's just around. He just does things. But Kiadi Money, I actively am against his existence. You know what I mean? Mutually. What? Is that a word? I don't know what you guys are talking about. But yeah. That's all I had to wrap up, because that's all I had to say about Zeb. That's kind of it. But, all in all, I think Hera is such an important character to the Star Wars, legacy of the rebellion, especially. I think, we have these discussions, and, obviously when we talk rebellion, we think of original trilogy, but Rebels is involved in that. Rebels is that. They're in that timeline. And I think she is such an incredible leader, commander, and mentor to her family, mother to her family, but also just leader. Fantastic character. I think they couldn't have written her any better. She's so well written, such a well-rounded, well-written character. And I think the connective tissue of this all coming back to her family lineage in the Clone Wars, when we saw Ryloth, when we saw the Clone Wars, and then seeing a completely different era of 15 years into the Imperial reign, and seeing the kind of consequences of really just what this one person, think of this one person, and there's billions of this in the Star Wars galaxy, one person's experience of growing up in a war-torn environment, how that manifests for her. I think it sharpens her. I think it, strengthens her, but it also is the point of so much trauma for her as well. It's not you don't want to be grown up in war-torn, in your planet, to be under siege, under fire, for many, many years. But I think it makes that she really is a great example of kind of taking that trauma and taking those hardships that she goes through, and losing her mother, and leaving her planet, going difficulties with her father, all these kinds of things, seeing the very messy politics that goes around war, all those things you don't want to have happen, but happen to her. And I think that's what makes her such a great leader, because she is so well balanced and understands the importance of family and understands the importance of love, as well as being a great commander, a great pilot, and just a great rebel. There we go. That's a great line to finish it. She's a great rebel. That's it. That's what I've got to say about Hera. Chad, let me know what you think about this character. Give me your overall thoughts. What is your overall view of Hera Syndulla? You know what? If someone said, hey, what's your favorite character? She's not at the top of my mind to mention. But when we break her down, she's so fascinating. She's so fascinating. But what is your overall view of Hera? What do you like most about her? Dave, once a rebel, always a rebel. Absolutely. I think so. All right, Micah, we'll catch you next time. Once a rebel, always a rebel. That's right, Rowan, wasn't it? That's right. I forgot about that. I agree that Hera is the focal point, especially in Rebels, but I wonder how crucial a character will be in Ahsoka. I hope I'm wrong, but the focus, I think, will be on Ahsoka and Sabine. I think so. I don't think she'll be heavily involved. I don't think she'll be like, having a massive character exploration, but I think it'll be important. I think she'll be an important kind of piece. Hera, along with the other members of the Ghost Crew, is one of the greatest additions to the franchise. Big statement there, JS. And I love it. I agree with you. I think it's just such an important addition to the galaxy. She is the glue. Hera is the glue. Hera is the glue. Sin City agreeing with Dave. I've been saying the same thing. Everyone is hyped for Sabine, and the only mention about Hera is how the actress isn't looking right or something. Right? It's animation. Like it's an animated show, and Rebels is so stylistic. It's going to look vastly different. I don't think I could ever complain too much about a look of a live action character, to be honest. Like, you'll never catch me complaining about that much at all, because it's a very stylistic animated character. Like, it's not going to look the same. I'm with you, Sin City. I get really angry about it, clearly. Oh, I love Hera. My mum's number in my saved in my phone with a picture of Hera's mama. Oh, that's so beautiful. That is so beautiful. It is so nice. I love it. Micah, Skywalker's Academy. She may not be the best, but she's up there in the ranks and highly regarded as a faithful rebel. Right? I feel like there's so many characters that so many people will be like, oh, I kind of have a problem with. But, I agree. I think, she's not in maybe my top 5, at least. But I think everyone has just this respect for Hera, right? Just this respect. You can't fault her. She's truly wonderful. Absolutely. When I first met Hera, she was already the best star pilot in the galaxy. It's so great. Oh, Hera's what I call her. Thought Hera looked fun? Yeah, I'm fine with it. Hera has lots of heart. She has passion to see her mission completed and cares extensively about her extended family. She's more Mandalorian than anything. What a random connection, but sure, I get you. I get what you're saying, though. Oh, I love it. P.S. She falls in the really good range of Rebels characters that, like Wedge Antilles, for example. Very good character at the top of the list for any rankings. Yeah, I think if the list was Star Wars characters that aren't like fallible or like kind of, what's the word I'm going for? Star Wars characters that don't have like major faults in them. She's at the top of the list. I think so. Yeah, Rosaria's such a good Ahsoka, though. I totally agree. Oh, I love it. Well, so thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out today, talking Hera. She's a great character. I feel good. I feel like better about life now. I feel like we should have spoken about her. Like, we should be giving her that credit. She's such a great character. And, when we talk about her lineage, where she came from, it's impressive. Very, very impressive. Very well written. Very, very well written. This was the second show in a stream of 3 shows. 3 back-to-back shows. 3 days in a row. We still got one more to go this week, and it doesn't end there. We're going to do the exact same thing next week. I do have an announcement coming out this Friday? My Friday. No, your Friday, my Saturday, regarding the channel. So keep your eyes peeled for that. It's not dramatic. Nothing's bad is happening. But a little announcement coming out later this week. So yeah, keep your eyes out for that. It's going to be cool. I want you guys involved. I want you to see what's happening. It's cool. It's cool. Here's your favorite Rebels character. There you go. Good fun fact. Hera Syndulla. Oh my god, that's such a mouthful. She was the real strength of the show, says Jerry. I agree. She's a great, strong anchor point for all the characters. Now we go and see what, Sabine's doing. We see what Ezra's doing. But she's such a great, strong point. I agree with you, Jerry. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Didn't see an answer, so we're getting... well, you'll find out. You'll find out. Justice for Reaction Camp, yeah. We'll finally get justice. But out of all the Rebels, my favorite would be Sabine, and I cannot wait to see you in live action. Well, I hope to see you tomorrow. Same time. 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. We are deep diving the same thing, but with Sabine Wren. We're going to be going over all of her intricacies, her difficulties, learning and educating herself with the Empire, what it means to be a Mandalorian, and extraditing herself from that culture. We're going to get into all of that and more tomorrow, having a great discussion like this, but about Sabine Wren. It's going to be great. It's going to be lots and lots of fun. Thank you so much, everyone commenting. Thank you for my suppies today. Appreciate the supers. Helps me out here at the channel to keep the lights on and running and things happening here. What a great day. Thank you so much for hanging out. I was planning for this to be 20 minutes. I'm not going to lie. So I don't know how we got an hour in. But good stuff. It's good stuff. Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of the night. I'll see you tomorrow. Let's talk about Sabine. I want to see you there. Appreciate you. And remember, always choose the racer. Oh my god, Numa's here. Numa, we even talked about your character today. Go on the rewatch. We talked about Numa. And we're live tomorrow, Numa. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time tomorrow, but an hour earlier than this.